Okay, we're finally doing it. We're finally talking about sleep training. Yes, I did a whole rant video probably, I don't know, 2 months ago. I told you guys that we finally slept trained Oakley. I talked about it, my thoughts and opinions on it, because I know it's a very controversial topic. That video, honestly, the feedback was truly amazing. You guys were so supportive and loving. The number one question I still get in my DMs today is, how did you actually do it? Give us the details. So in today's video, we're just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna talk you through the process that we went through with sleep training our second child. We slept trained our first. She's now 4.5. She is, I'm talking kind of low because he's finishing his nap, which he's napping so good right now, I could cry. Our 4.5-year-old is such a good sleeper. She enjoys sleep. She sleeps 12 hours a night. She doesn't nap anymore. I feel like she stopped napping probably around 3.5, just before school. And she was a really good napper. She would do like a 2-hour nap during the day and then 12 hours at night. And she needed it. She's a high energy child during the day. We spend a lot of time outside doing activities. She needs her rest. And my little guy, he needs to sleep too. We all need sleep, and the only way we're gonna get sleep if our kids actually sleep so we can sleep. I was like, okay, let me scroll back to us in Florida, because that is when we were finally like, no, we can't live like this anymore. I was on the fence already about sleep training Oakley, because there's a lot of information out there that makes you feel like you're just being this horrible person and you are traumatizing your child for life, which now doing this for the second time, I know my opinion on it, where I stand, and yes, like, everybody's family dynamic and everyone's child is going to be different. Maybe for some kids, it's not the right path, but for us and our family and our children, it definitely was the right choice. And we are just a more calmer, happier, well-rested family. Even though last night they both did wake up in the middle of the night. I think Oakley had a very wet diaper, and Sage just, I don't know, once in a while she just still wakes up in the middle of the night, and that's just what it is. No system's perfect, okay? 99% of the time they are sleeping through the night, and I just feel like a better mom, a better human being, a better partner, a better everything, because I'm getting sleep. Like, we cannot function on no sleep for a long period of time. Eventually it just gets to us. It affects our mental health, it affects our state as a person and a human being, and our relationship with our children and the stress that we're able to handle. Sleep is essential for our health, and if we're not getting it, it's gonna affect other areas of our life. By the way, watch this video first. This is kind of like the sequel to that video. I've been putting this video off for a while because in my head I'm like, oh, I need to like make sure I'm so sensitive and say things in a certain way. I'm just gonna chit chat with you guys like a friend. This isn't a big deal. This is just what we did. Take it or leave it. I'm not telling you you need to do this. This is just what we did. I don't need judgment or hate. We already did it and it's working for us, and we're so grateful we did it. So I'm just here to share and help support other parents that are looking to not go crazy because of the lack of sleep in their lives. Number one question people always ask is, will there be crying? Nobody wants their kid to be crying. It feels awful. You have mom guilt. You're like, ugh, it's just the worst. And the truth is, yes, there is crying, especially for our situation. There was literally so much crying every single night for bedtime, throughout the night when he would wake up. Like, there was so much crying. I was crying. Everybody was crying. All right, I'm editing this video and I'm realizing that it's about to sound like I'm saying the sleep training, there was so much crying. I'm actually referring to before we slept trained Oakley, how much crying there was every single night leading up to bedtime and during nap, like everything around sleep, there was so much crying. And even though during sleep training there is crying, it feels more like crying with a purpose and there's an end goal to it. And so yes, there is crying during sleep training, but you are going in, you're checking in on them. We are not doing the cried out method like peace out, see you in the morning. We are monitoring, we are making sure baby is safe, and just giving space and allowing them to settle themselves and lay down and learn to fall asleep on their own. I know not everybody is on board with that, but that's just what we did. So yes, there is crying, but from our regular routine before we slept trained, there was so much crying anyways, it honestly didn't feel any different. Looking back now, we only really slept trained him in February. So he was about, I think, like 15 months old. It's obviously gets a little bit harder the older they get, but leading up to that point, every night he was just screaming. He hated sleep. We tried everything. We tried bed sharing, co-sleeping, whatever you want to call it. He was just so unhappy when it came to bedtime. And it was really hard because I was really starting to resent the end of the day because I knew bedtime was nearing and our routine was just not in a good place. I just felt like it took over an hour to get him down, sometimes an hour and a half, and I was going in and out, in and out. He was just crying. And he wasn't teething. He wasn't no tummy issues. He just literally did not know how to go to sleep. He did not know how to lie down. The only way is if I just sat there and like patted his bum to sleep for like half an hour, and then he would fall asleep. And even when I did that, he would then just wake up throughout the night and continue to be so upset because he didn't know how to fall asleep. So I'm not gonna get all into that on the reason why we needed to do it. We tried other avenues. So if you're gonna say like, oh, just like have them, like babies are meant to be with mom, like it doesn't work for every child. Trust me, I love cozying up with my kids in bed, but they just don't sleep that great with us. Some kids sleep better alone in their bedroom. It doesn't mean they're neglected or they're scared. Some kids sleep so good in the bed with parents. Other kids, I feel like, are just startled really easily. Like I would just like move slightly and it would wake him up, and he just never had a good night's sleep with me. There got to a point that I would spend like 3 hours trying to get him to sleep in our bed with me, and he was just tossing, turning, crying. It was a whole thing. So like I said, I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm also getting into it. He would also freak out the moment he woke up in the mornings. Like as soon as he woke up, he was like freaking out, like, get me out of here, I'm awake. I felt like I had to rush in there and grab him because he was so upset. And so it was like, even us helping him to sleep each time, it's like he didn't like being in his crib, he didn't like sleeping, and he didn't know what to do as the moment he woke up because he felt like out of sorts. Versus flash forward to now, he is so happy and calm in the morning. Sometimes he's just like singing and talking to himself. Like even going to bed now, he knows, like we lay him down. I'll talk about the routine. We lay him down, he has his little stuffy, and sometimes he's just like singing and blah, 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 babbling himself to sleep. And he is chill in there. He is not scared. He is not traumatized. We go there in the morning and he's just like, hey, like, it's such a different experience than it was a few months ago. It's unreal. It's like night and day. It's like a different child. I can't believe we waited this long to do it, but it has made such a difference in the way he is with his sleep. So like I said, he is finally sleeping 11 to 12 hours a night. He goes to bed at around 7:30 now. We start our bedtime routine at 7. It takes about half hour. And he is in bed from 7:30, and then he can wake up anytime between honestly 6 and 7:30. On a good day, he will sleep until 7, but it really depends. I'm also going to chit chat about how we extended his morning wake up time, because when we first started sleep training, he was still waking up quite early, like before 6. So we did do something to help kind of extend that a little bit. And the reality is, it's hard being a mom of 2 and having to spend so much time with one child when it comes to getting them down to sleep. Like I felt like I could never be involved with Sage's bedtime routine, and now that they're both sleeping really good, like sometimes we all like cuddle together and read books together. Near the end, we have to separate them because they'll just keep each other awake. They definitely are not at the stage of like room sharing at this point, but they just like hype each other up at the end of the night. I love that, like it's not this like, okay, I'm gonna start Oakley's bedtime routine, I'm gonna be in there an hour and a half and like not even be able to see Sage for the rest of the night. Like it was hard on me that way too. So the fact that we just have a good routine with both kids and we can spend time with both of them is just really special to me. And I feel like we have a much better balance with how our night routine goes as a whole. I think I just heard Oakley, so I'm gonna go grab him from his nap. Honey. Good morning or good afternoon. You want water? Did you have a good nap? Yeah. You sleep good? Yeah, you had a good like almost 3-hour nap. Guys, a few months ago, he would have woke up so upset and crying. Okay, I'm gonna give him some water. Is that good? Every time he wakes up now, he's like, awa, awa, which is code for water. He's so thirsty. Do you want to take your sleep sack off? Oh, you want this? You want this book? This book? Yeah. Okay. You want to go downstairs and read some books? Yeah? Okay. Let's go downstairs. I made some applesauce the other day. I've been filling up this little silicone food pouch, and he's been liking it. So I'm not gonna lie, the first 2 days were like the hardest. After that, honestly, I just kept telling myself, why didn't I do this sooner? So the first night, I feel like it took just over an hour. I was looking back at my old messages with our baby sleep coach. So we used Lily from Little Baby Sleep. I'll link her down below. She actually gave me a coupon code to give my viewers, since you guys are always asking me who I've used to get my kids to sleep. And Lily honestly saved us and taught me everything I know, but every situation's different. So just because I'm telling you what worked for us, it doesn't mean that's gonna work for you. It's also similar to like, you could have a great gym near you, but if you don't have the tools and a good coach, like you're not going to get the results you want. Definitely not in the time frame that you want. So the first night, I would say it probably took just over an hour to get him down, which honestly was not really different from our usual bedtime routine. I went in about every 10 minutes, and then I increased that each time I went in. So I looked at my notes, I went in about 5 times. The first like couple days, it's a lot of back and forth. Oh, hang on, Oakley, I gotta put more. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, it's just cold. So the hardest part is getting them down in the beginning of the night without assisting them completely to sleep. And that is gonna help start the process of them learning to put themselves to sleep. And I found this really interesting, but because he literally didn't know that he needed to lay down to go to bed, just standing, holding the pack and play, since we were in Florida at the time, so we were using the pack and play, he literally was like dozing off standing up. And he wasn't screaming, he was just like whining, crying, like not happy, but not freaking out at the same time. So you definitely wanna know your baby's different cries and try to figure out where they're at, and then obviously monitoring them on the baby monitor and making sure that they're safe. And every time I would go in there, I would pick him up, I would give him a little back rub. Everybody's different, every coach is going to tell you different things, but at the end of the day, you as a parent can do what you feel is right for your child and what you feel comfortable with. Every time I went in there, I did pick him up and I just gave him a little rub. I didn't talk to him, I just was in there probably for about a minute, and then I put him back down, and then I would leave the room. Okay, me from the future, one of the things I forgot to mention is, why does it matter that your child needs to learn how to put themselves to sleep? Like, why does that matter? How does that make them sleep longer? Essentially, from my understanding, is that when they are able to be awake and then fall asleep in the environment that they're going to be sleeping in, they aren't going to be jarred and startled when they wake up after, like, I think their sleep cycle at this age is every 40 minutes. They kind of wake up, they stir a little bit, and if they don't recognize where they're sleeping, they're going to be startled and it's going to wake them up. So essentially you want them to fall asleep in the area that they're going to be sleeping in for the remainder of their nap. So if they fell asleep on mom and then you put them in their crib when they're asleep, they're going to be startled when they wake up in 40 minutes and they're not still in mom's arms. So essentially when they do have those natural wake ups throughout their nap or their overnight sleep, they're not going to be startled when they realize that they are in their crib. They know they're in their crib because that was the last place they were awake in, so they're not going to be scared when they wake up and they're still in their crib. So what really helped us was introducing a stuffy, aka a Lovey, something for them to cuddle with, and it really helped us. I feel like that was a game changer in him being comfortable in his bed without us like patting his bum to sleep, because he had something there cozy with him. Even when I checked on him throughout the night, I could see he was just cuddling his stuffy, which was so adorable, and it really just helped make the whole process a lot easier for him. The second night was definitely the hardest. He woke up at 2 in the morning and he was up for about 2.5 hours. So obviously in the middle of the night, you're so tired. You just want to go in there and rock them to sleep and then be over with it. But I kept telling myself, like, we are breaking the cycle and we got to get through this. We are breaking the cycle. Oh, that's bruised. Yeah, that's no good. And my biggest tip for you guys is I would just have one parent be the person who's on like the main duty for sleep training so that the other person can rest. I think it's important for both parents to know what the plan is. So we both had a call with Lily and we were on the same page with everything, especially if like I needed to tap out, I could tell Matt where I left off and he could sub in essentially. So it was good because I felt like I had support, but also I felt like I was doing it for the team. And it was nice because in the morning, the second night, like I said, it was rough. So he had his earplugs in and stuff, he slept, and then the morning he took Oakley and I was able to get some rest. But that night that he slept, that he was up for 2.5 hours in the middle of the night, I was back and forth once again doing the intervals. It was hard. I was just awake, listening to him, monitoring him on the monitor. That morning, he slept until 7:30. Guys, I don't know the last time he ever did that. Even the fact that Oakley was falling asleep standing up made me realize like he doesn't know that he needs to lie down to go to sleep. And now looking back to like where he is now, he knows like when I lay him down on his side with his stuffy, he stays there and he's like, meh, 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 like just singing because he knows like this is how we go to sleep. I'm tired. A lot of times he'll like push off of me and just want me to put him into bed because he's like, I'm tired, and he knows that laying down is gonna make it easier for him to go to sleep. So essentially, I just repeated this process. I would say by day 3, definitely day 4, it was so much easier. Like it was, instead of the hour and 15 or the 45 minutes for him to go down, it was like 15 minutes, 10 minutes. It kept getting shorter and shorter. And then I think by the end of the week, it was like he would cry for a minute and then go back down and go to sleep. Like the difference from when we started to where we ended was so crazy. And like just seeing how he reacted to it, like I said, he was not traumatized, he was not angry. Every time he would cry too, it was more like a tired whine, not like a screaming high pitch, like I'm so angry, I'm scared, I'm traumatized. It definitely wasn't that type of cry. I think it's really important to monitor the sounds your baby is making so you can determine, are they just annoyed with me? Are they really upset? Because obviously if they're purple, I think it's called like purple screaming, you want to go in there and soothe them, because we're not trying to traumatize them. We're just trying to teach them a valuable skill, which is sleeping. A couple things I want to point out that definitely helped make this whole process easier is doing the timed intervals to check on him, because I think when you're just like going off of like, okay, when was the last time I went in there? You're just guessing. It's easier to go in there too much. I feel like for me, putting a timer just helped me be like, okay, I'm gonna set a 10-minute timer. I'm gonna go fold some laundry. I'm gonna put away some dishes. I'm gonna do a task. So I'm not just sitting there listening to Oakley crying, and then I go in there and then help him. So it just made things easier on my end as well. But like I said, at no point was he like screaming his head off, freaking out. It was really just like a whiny cry, like a very low cry, because he was tired. He wanted to sleep. Make sure they're not overtired. So during the day, you wanna make sure that you are timing wake windows and having appropriate naps. So during the day, I was assisting him with his naps because I don't know why, but daytime naps are a different category than nighttime. So even if you're trying to sleep train bedtime, you can still assist them for daytime naps and it's not going to affect the nighttime sleep. I don't understand why this is a thing, but we were assisting him with the daytime naps because it's kind of a separate thing to sleep train them on. It's a little bit harder because they have less sleep pressure. So during the day, we just did our regular thing. We rocked him to sleep. But I will say, yes, I will say it was easier to get him down for his daytime naps once we had slept trained his nighttime bedtime. If they're not having good naps during the day, they're gonna be overtired at night and it's just gonna make the whole process really hard, and they're probably gonna end up waking up early in the morning because an overtired baby is gonna wake up multiple times throughout the night or early in the morning. And having a consistent bedtime routine for them, some structure, is gonna really help just bring in those bedtime cues for them. So a sound machine, like I said, a dark room, books, brushing teeth, milk, all the same things in the same order. Oakley now, if I miss reading to him, he gets angry at me. He's like, meh. He doesn't see a book yet, but like he's pointing and he's angry, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like especially when it's like already past his bedtime and I try to skip a step, he knows exactly what we didn't do and he expects it in a certain order. It's actually really interesting to see how quickly they adapt to a routine and how much they thrive off of it. Okay, me again from the future. I forgot to talk to you about how we got Oakley to kind of extend his morning wake up time, because even after we did sleep training, he was still waking up really, really early, like before 6 sometimes. And I wanted to push that more to 7 because he was getting really overtired for his nap time. And I would just prefer him to have a good sleep in the morning so that he can make it throughout the day with just like his regular nap and not be overtired. So what we did is, like, say he would wake up at 6, I would wait 5 minutes to go get him, because essentially once I get him and give him milk, he now is setting his own body alarm clock to be like, this is the time to wake up. This is when I'm going to get milk. So each morning I kind of delayed getting him like an extra 5 minutes, and you will be surprised that they will actually naturally start waking up at the time that you went in there. So if I did the first day, I waited 5 minutes, he'll now like wake up like a couple minutes later. And then I kept just like pushing it until eventually we got to like, now it's like anywhere between 6:30 and 7:30. Most of the time he sleeps around till about 7. So it really does work. Even if you just like go to the washroom or go grab a glass of water before you go get them in the morning, just delaying it by a little bit each morning is going to make a big difference on pushing that wake time a little bit. I feel like there's not like this secret sauce that I can tell everybody, okay, do this and your babies are gonna sleep throughout the night. But this is just what worked for us. But like I said, working with a sleep coach, even just go follow her on Instagram, is really helpful just to understand how babies work with the sleep patterns and the psychology behind it, I think is really fascinating. I never knew anything about wake windows and sleep training and all that until our kids were not sleeping and life was horrible. So things are just so much better now. I sometimes feel bad breaking that my kids sleep 12 hours a night, but like it has changed our life. And if you're not getting sleep, you know what that is like. And for people to say, oh, well, you just like, babies are meant to sleep with their parents in bed until they're like 6. Like, we don't have a village to raise our kids like back in the day. There's so much more on our plates, and like in the morning it is go, go, go. Not everyone is a stay-at-home parent that their sole job is to be with their kids. And even if that is the case, if you're up all night with one child and not getting sleep, and you have more than one child, or even if you don't, how are you going to be functioning during the day if you are so tired, like just like a walking zombie? That's how I was feeling. I was feeling so just depleted as a mom and a human being. And I just cannot recommend enough. Whatever way you decide to go, I'm definitely on team sleep training, and I just feel like it has this really nasty stigma, but it doesn't need to be like that. There's way less crying involved in our bedtime routine now than before we did the sleep training. I was even like nervous doing it the second time around because I was like building it up in my head to be this big thing. And literally the day I did it, I was like, I'm just gonna like dip my toes in it. It was no big deal. I remember sending Lily a voice note being like, that was no big deal. I don't know why I was like psyching myself out. And then the fact that like he slept pretty much the whole night was mind blowing to me because we were like at our wits' end. So, Oakley, do you like sleeping? Yeah, guys, he says no to everything. You like sleeping? Yeah, you feel better now at bedtime? Yeah. Ask me any questions down below. Hopefully I gave enough details in this video. It's hard to like walk you through every single detail because like it happened a few months ago. I made some notes, but I feel like I told you everything that I wanted to mention. More blueberries? Yeah. And don't let people make you feel bad or feel like you're a bad mom because you've decided to sleep train. It's gonna change your life. It really is. And you're gonna just be a happier person. Your kids are gonna be happier. And people that don't do it, like that might work for them too. Like so many people I know, they're like, oh, I didn't sleep train my kids. My kids sleep great. That's amazing. But not every kid is like that. So don't judge another parent for just trying to have to get a basic need like sleep. Blueberries, guys, this was a whole Costco thing of blueberries. I think we got it 2 days ago. We like blueberries. I have a bunch of videos on baby sleep tips over the years from Oakley as well as Sage and what that journey was like. I'm gonna link them all down below in a playlist for you guys to check out. I share a lot of helpful free information there, especially for people that, you know, can't hire a coach or don't know where to start. There's so much free information online. Oh yes, and one more thing I will say, once you start, you kind of just have to go full on into it. I remember Lily's always just like, okay, just like pick your day, but then once that's your day, like you gotta go all in kind of thing. The more you're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, the longer it's gonna take, and honestly, there's probably gonna be more crying. It's just gonna be a longer, lengthy process than just kind of like getting it done right away. Like I said, it probably took 3 days for us to fully get over the hump, and then after that it was smooth sailing. Okay, my girlfriend's calling, so I'm gonna let you guys go. Subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave me your thumbs up. Leave me any questions down below. Once again, be kind in the comments, guys. I'm just sharing. You guys have been asking me literally like every single day in my DMs to do this video. I hope I gave you some insight and gave you some advice that can help you in your own family and getting sleep. I love you guys so much. Thank you for supporting my channel, supporting my mommy journey, and just love you. Bye. Okay. Bye.